Hey, this is Professor Ken with Omnichannel Grocer, and I'm here at the Ultimate Beverage Show in Palm Beach. This is a great show because you actually see all those alternative beverages that are in the market and successful, including the new ones that are coming into the market. So I'm looking forward to speaking with everybody here and seeing what's new and what's coming into the marketplace. You know, I had an interesting conversation this morning at breakfast with some of the leading brands and some of the new coming brands that are coming up. And it was just a sort of a simple conversation. We were talking about the need, how things have changed with the need of AI and with the use of AI today, and how marketing has changed for any products, especially the alternate beverage products. So the conversation was so good that I actually wrote down some notes here on my receipt that I wanted to share with you. So basically, the consensus was that right now we're working in a fragmented marketing place. Right? So everything that we do from a marketing point of view is fragmented because with the use of AI, with the channels like TikTok and Instagram and the cost of Google ads coming up, the cost of acquisition for a direct-to-consumer brand has gone up significantly. So the fragmented marketing is just all over the place. So what we thought we could do here is really create a omni-channel presence. So if you create an omni-channel presence, which means you're not just on one channel, but you're on several channels selling your product, you have the same brand consistency across all that, the same messaging, the same tone. So one of the things that we really talked about is we know right now that the digital ad market is really broken. And of course, with AI changing things, it's evolving every single day. So one of the things that we know is that if you look at the shelf right now in this category, which is, by the way, one of the fastest growing categories in food and beverage, the shelves are getting more crowded by the day as new brands come through. And that's important to understand because you have to have a strong digital experience right now. The buyer is looking for proof of concept, proof that you're going to sell on the shelf. Remember, getting on a shelf, it's complicated. It's not very difficult. It could be done, but it's your job as the brand to get it off the shelf. So you really have to build that digital experience. So that was one of the things that we talked about this morning in our conversation. And a lot of them lean to proof of demand, which means you have to prove to the retailer, to the buyer, that your product will sell, that you have a marketplace for that particular product. And we really looked at the cost of acquisition because the CAC cost is rising. The cost to acquire someone today has gone up, especially if you're doing a direct-to-consumer campaign. So that's where this discovery comes in with the digital marketing place. You really have to make sure that you are digital first. So here's some ideas that we talked about and some of the must-haves if you're a brand in the marketplace today, whether you're an alternate beverage or something else. You have to have some type of a QR code on your product that's going to drive someone to go to the website to sign up. You want to capture their email address because now you're able to personalize that particular program or personalize that particular offer to that customer. That's really important. So make sure you're capturing that. You also want to make sure you're able to capture the SMS, MMS opportunities. So let them opt in to that so that you can text them and you can message them on a regular basis. So that was really important that came up. And one thing that we talked about, we have to think about consistency throughout our messages. The same message, the same content has to be consistent. So if you're on Amazon, whatever you put on Amazon needs to be put on your website. Whatever you put on your website and Amazon needs to go on your social. Whatever goes on your social website and Amazon also needs to go on the can. So that messaging is the same across all your channels. That's true omni-channel marketing. One of the other things that came up is that we have to really understand our segmentation. So segmentation is important in everything we do. So now you have to create these personas, and the personas are important because when you buy alternate beverages, health drinks, or things of that nature, you have different personas, different reasons why you're buying that product. So let's say you have gym rats as an example. Okay, well, if you go into the gym a lot, you're buying that particular functional drink for something, okay? So you're probably on TikTok and maybe on Instagram. But then what if you have professionals that just need a pick-me-up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, those professionals are probably more on LinkedIn and Facebook. So that means your content has to be targeted to them and also has to be focused in that channel. Now with AI, we could do that because all we have to do with AI, if you use ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, whatever program you're using, you just have to punch in your features and benefits of your product, your target audience, what your pain points are, your likes and dislikes from that target audience, create that profile, the age demographic, the professional demographic, the interest, give that all into your prompt, into ChatGPT, and ask it to give me content ideas that will help me convert that product and just push that up. And that'll be a fantastic thing to do. You know, one other things that we talked about here is understanding that cost of acquisition, because that was a valuable part of our conversation. Why? Because remember, our goal is to get to customer lifetime value. So we're talking about a beverage drink here. So if you like that product, that's great. But you buy it one time, you're either going to like it or not like it. Now you have to come back into the system so that you're buying it again and again and again. So that original acquisition cost is going to go down with every single purchase. So understanding your customer lifetime value, your LTV, is really valuable here. If someone drinks your product one time a week, that's 52 weeks they're going to make a purchase. And let's say your product is $1, that's $52 that you know you're going to have. And maybe they're going to buy it for 3 consistent years. So that's $156 that you're going to have to count on. So now if it costs you $10 to acquire that customer, in 3 years, you're making that money back up because you're building that customer lifetime experience. So you really have to look at that and understand that. That's a valuable part of this type of marketing. The other thing we talked about now is because we have to be data driven. So that means we have to collect all this data. We have to personalize this data. The more data we have, that more 1P data, the more I know about Professor Ken, the more I can market to you. And that's really valuable. And if you own that data, you really own your customer base. Now, if you're selling on a third-party platform, you don't have that data. So build up your website and get that data somehow. Give away a perk, give away something free to get that email, to get that SMS, to get that phone number, and build that plan up. That's really valuable for you. With that information, you can personalize, and you never have to worry about where you are in the rankings on Amazon or Google, because you have a customer base that is always going to come back to here. And just to wrap up our thoughts, what we were talking about here is, you know, we want to have a good tasting drink. Yes, that's very important. So the drink is going to make you feel better. It's going to help you feel better. It's going to do all these incredible things. But the connected data is what's going to drive the results that's going to be important to you. So keep these in mind. Try to make your product more personalized. Try to get that data from the customer. Try to have that omni-channel connection so the same brand message goes all the way across. I'm Professor Ken, and I'll see you out there.